morning, and you've joined me at the beautiful Hallcroft fisheries. Now this is the Wickersley Angling Centre Colmic bomb and feeder league that's been running throughout the winter. It's been 8 matches. This is the last round, and the league's 8 matches, and you count your best 6 results. And as it stands, I've got 13 points. Now Brian O'Sullivan, he's next peg to me. He's got 10 points. He's winning the league. But at the moment I'm counting a 5th in my section. The first 2 rounds, I missed the first round, so that cost me because it clashed with the Autumn Lindome Festival. And then the next round, exactly the same conditions as this really, and I come thinking, right, I've got to win my section now because I've missed a match. Fished for carp all day, I drew 55, and I really struggled. I only had 3 skimmers, and it really cost me that, not fishing for skimmers. I fished for carp all day. So I've been clawing my way back up the league since the first 2 rounds, and as I say, now I've got 3 section wins, a second and a third, so I've got 13 points, and if I can better that 5th in my section, that'll push me right up the leaderboard. I've still got a chance of winning it, but see what happens. I think it'll be really hard to beat, especially Brian, because he's got good points and he's got good droppers as well, whereas if I tie with anybody, they're going to beat me because I've got a 5th in my section. But I've drawn peg 73 on the Moat Outer, and now let me tell you this, I haven't been on this peg. I've won quite a few matches off this peg, because I used to fish Hallcroft relentlessly for many years, and I'll tell you what, I bet I've not been on this peg for 10-11 years. It must be. And as a matter of fact, last summer I qualified for the Maver match this final off that peg there, chucking down into this corner here. So it's one of these areas that sometimes it produces feast or famine. There's resident fish here, but there's small fish, but I've got a bit of wind movement down here. I really quite fancy it, to be honest with you. I've got this banking down here, and then I've got the platforms opposite, so I'm fishing a really nice simple match. These are my rods, Aero X7 10 foot with a new reel that I can't go into too much detail with at the moment. Fishery pellets, 2mm pellets, speedy washers, and some sweet corn for down the middle. That's it, nice and simple. And the beauty about this match and this league is you can feed by hand and with a catapult. So I'm going to feed some corn down the middle. I haven't really got a margin line, but I still fancy it. So let's have a walk up to the master, the one and only Brian Sullivan. Well, here he is, the winner. He's winning the league up to now. He's got 10 points. What do you think, Bri? Do you fancy it?
No, not this peg, mate. I fancy yours and I fancy me.
Why don't you fancy this peg?
I fancy everybody else's bar my own.
Honestly, I'd quite fancy this peg.
Oh.
It's a good area, isn't it?
If it fishes crap, you've still got the resident.
Yeah.
And the main epicentre at carp is either side that spinner at the moment. And
is it?
Peg either side, yeah.
Right. Well, as I say, in our section we've got Lee Kerry, Mick Viles.
Yeah.
Got a few big hitters in the section.
Well, we'll end up taking points off each other, aren't we?
Yeah, see what happens, but yeah, all to play for in the league, to be honest with you. There's about 5 or 6 of us that potentially could win it, but my money, without a shadow of a doubt, is on my hero right here, Brian, because I think he's done enough already. So, see what happens. Right. Only small though, mate.
Midweek league double, here he comes. I wouldn't know, mate. I don't get up this end late when I'm passing.
I fished it once. On the very first one. But to be fair,
Just send the chuck to that white pipe or something. 210.
how many?
52.10 first way.
Same, I reckon.
Yeah. Come on, Nick, nobody likes
So that's going to be a large farm, you tell you. About 80 pounds. They do breathe in a car left.
back anyway, wouldn't it?
Don't mind. Some straight, man.
So it's 53.8. Try not to look as ugly. That'd be good. Fucking hell.
First time that big, you want to do that.
Yeah. Got it, mate. Well done. Absolutely brilliant.
Put it on your rod bag. Well done, mate. Fair
Well
play.
done, Nick. Well done, Nick. Did you catch them, Fox? Well, you obviously base it right with it. You chuck across the bank?
On the old one, I had £4
To them reeds. Oh, right, yeah.
I tell you what, that was an awesome day's fishing. I ended up with 18 carp. I had one in the first hour chucking towards the bush in the far corner, and I caught all the rest on a feeder across throughout the match. It didn't start too well, to be honest with you. I had 5 or 6 casts without a bite, and then I got my second fish going into the back end of the second hour, and the peg just got better. And as I say, I ended up with 18 across. So phenomenal day's fishing, absolutely loved it. For £106, which won the match. So I was really pleased with that. But more importantly, that put me on 9 points, with 4 section wins, a second and a third. But I knew, as I said this morning, that 5th in my section on that second round, I knew may cost me if I was going to tie with anybody. And I tied with Tommy for winning the league, but he beat me on countback because of that 5th in my section. So well done, mate. You fished a brilliant league and you deserve the win. As I say, I finished second. Brian O'Sullivan was pushed to third because he didn't better his score. He ended up 4th in his section, and as he predicted as well in the morning, that there were more fish to his right around the spinner. Lee Kerry and Mick Viles beat him, so he ended up 3rd with 10 points. Mick Viles was 4th in the league with 11 points. Lee Kerry was 5th, also with 11 points, and Sean Cameron was 1st out with 11 points as well. And I'll tell you what, it's been a brilliant league. It's been well run by Alan Taylor, Mick Axon and Trev Parkin, and they've done a great job, and it's been extremely popular and everyone's loved it. And it's just been something good and enjoyable for you to get your teeth into in those winter months when it's cold. A reason to go fishing, really, sometimes in the harshest of conditions. And I think that's why I enjoy league fishing, for that reason. It really does get you focused. So yeah, I can't wait for next year, and I think it'll be really popular as well, even more popular than what it already is. So I'm looking forward to that.